Hello, everyone. Happy Father's Day to all the daddies out there, and to all the mums out there as well that have actually are doing both roles. Um, so I just thought I'd do a message on what does God say about a father? What is a father's responsibility? What is his duty? What is his role? And what does God expect of us? It's not just as simple as making a baby and makes you a father. Anybody can be a father, but it takes a real man to actually be a parent and to be there for your children. So let's just see what the Bible has to say. And if there's anything you've picked up that I'm wrong in, then absolutely send me a message. I don't mind constructive criticism. To be honest, it teaches me, doesn't it? As well as hopefully this will you learn something from this. Um, so the role of the father is very very important. It is something that God has given to men. He has entrusted that role, and I believe that as men we will have to give an account to God for our role in our kids' lives and our families, with our wives, partners, whatever. It's something that we're going to have to give an account for. God's going to say, well, what did you do with the responsibility that was entrusted to you? How did you handle that? What did you do with it? So I was sort of researching and looking through the different meanings of the word father, and I came across in the Greek or Latin, the word father actually means patria, and the word patria actually means family, and that is actually why a family, well, 99% of the time, is known by the father's name. Um, as fathers, we need to take up our roles, um, to teach our kids, uh, to teach them knowledge, leadership, and correction. Um, in Psalms 103, verse 13, it says, "A father loves and pities his children, so the Lord loves and pities those who fear him with reverence and worship." Um, so I mean, that's what the Bible has to say about that. So then I'll go on to Proverbs chapter 13, verses 24, and this is actually a good one. This is for all the PC people. I can't say politically correct half the time, so as I say, PC people out there who don't believe in discipline your children. Well, this is what the Bible has to say. "He who spurs the rod hates his son, but he who loves him disciplines him um, at an early age." That's from the Amplified Bible. So it means you're to correct your children. You're not to be afraid of what the law says and tells you, "Oh, you can't speak to that guy about your children." Absolutely, if you're baiting them, that's completely wrong. If you're saying all the horrible things to them, that's wrong as well. Because there's actually a verse in the Bible, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4, and it speaks about don't be causing anger to your kids. Don't cause your kids to hate you. Don't cause them to completely reject you from the way you're treating them and speaking to them. There's a balance there that has to be maintained, and some people use that verse, "He who spares a rod," the child, uh, and they abuse that. There's like many verses in the Bible that so many people have abused. The Bible isn't a lucky dip. You can't, or a pick a mix. You can't just pick out pieces that suit you and go with that. You have to accept the whole thing. Um, so what else have I got here? Psalm 68, verse 5, and this is another good one. Kind of touched me a good bit, so it did. It says, "God is a father to the fatherless, and a judge and a protector of the widows is God in his holy habitation." The Bible says that God is a father to the fatherless, not a mother to the motherless, a father to the fatherless, and that's clearly what it says. And when I was looking into that one as well, I had came across um, the word orphan in the Bible describes a child having no father. It doesn't describe it having no parents. It describes a child having no father. So if a child doesn't have a father, that child's an orphan. That's what God's word says. So that there goes in line which says he's a father to the fatherless. Um, Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and in keeping with this individual, when he is old, he will not depart from it. So if you teach your child the way he should be going, or she, in the ways of the ways of God, His commandments, what He expects, then they'll not depart from it. There's no, if you teach a child at a young age, they'll never forget it. There's things that I was taught as a child that I'll never forget, and so I stuck with me. And my eldest boy is 13, and there's things I've taught him from a young age, and he's never forgot them. He still remembers them. So you've only a few short years to influence your children, and then you're sort of fighting to try and, because the world gets a grip of them at a certain age, and then you're sort of like taking a back seat to things. You know what I mean? It's hard to sort of reach them at a certain age when they hit their teenage years. It's very important in this day and age. Very, very important. There's so much lawlessness. There's so many kids disrespectful to their parents, shouting and roaring at them, effing and blinding and saying whatever they want. You know what I mean? There's no respect now at all in the home. There's so many broken homes now. And I've came from a broken home, and my kids have now came from a broken home. It's so common now that people just don't want to work at anything anymore. And I believe it's more important now than ever that fathers need to take their responsibility very seriously. My kids come over to me and they know they're going to have fun. They know it's going to be a mess in session, and it is. But when I need to be serious with them, trust me, they do listen, because they know what I mean business. There's a balance that has to be maintained. I'm not a perfect dad by any means, believe me. I'm not sitting here coming on and saying that as an example, I'm anything but that. And what I can give them is nothing compared to what God can give them, because He is the perfect Father. He's what men, fathers, should strive towards, to be like their Father in heaven. I've let my kids down so many times. I've said things to them I probably shouldn't have said. God's not going to do that there to anybody, man or woman. He's not going to do that there. He's always going to be there for you. So if your father lets you down, don't sit there and take it to heart. Focus on your real father, because that's the one that's never going to let you down. So I just wanted to put this type of video up. I had been meaning to actually do this last year, but I wasn't in a good place last year, so I thought I would do it this year. I had stuff I wrote down last year, so I just thought I would, It is good also that we lead by example. Let our kids see us praying. Let our kids see us talk to God. Let the kids see exactly, because they watch everything. There was an old saying going about, and it was, you don't know who's watching you. You might be the only Bible that some people will ever read by your actions. And it's the same with your kids. Your kids might be the only way that they'll ever actually see what a good man is going to be. So there's so many dads out there, and they really don't take their responsibility serious. They don't. I've seen so many times that they don't even care. They just move on to the next girl and try and start a family with that person and just forget about their other kids. It's really heartbreaking. And those kids grow up with trauma in their lives. They grow up with heartache that they were rejected. Rejection's a very, very big thing that children feel. I've noticed. I've spoke to so many kids in their teenage years recently, and I was actually surprised quite a few that actually been watching my videos and stuff on YouTube, and it's surprising when they talk about their dads. There's so much anger in them, and it's hurt. They've been hurt because they feel rejected. So I would say to any dad out there, you know, and this is myself included, you know, think about your kids. Think about your kids because it's very, very important. You know, we've only got a short few years with them before they start getting up, and then they're going to do their own thing. You know, and then we'll maybe look back someday and regret it, and it's too late. I watched an amazing movie, and I would recommend anybody to watch it. And it's called Overcomer, and it's by the Kendrick brothers. They have done a load of videos, movies about Christians and stuff, but this one was actually very, very good, and it was about a father who basically spent his life on drugs and drink and women and stuff, and he ended up on his deathbed. And the short version of the story was he came across his daughter, and he was trying to put things right, but he realised everything he had been doing all his life was worth nothing. It was worthless, and he kept wishing that he could take all that back and just invest it in his daughter, but he couldn't. We only get one shot at this life, one run at it. We don't get a second rerun, and I have to keep telling myself this. So I'm not just talking to anybody who's watching this. I'm talking to myself as well. I'm very much not ignorant to be taught. I'm not afraid for somebody to correct me, but I certainly want to be a better father to my kids than my dad was, and I'd like to think that my kids could be a better father than I was, if that makes sense. So, I'm just gonna my message there on Father's Day. I got nice gifts, so I did too. My kids, I was sitting up late with them watching a movie, and it was like 1 minute past 12, and my eldest boy came in and gave me a card and stuff, and it was really nice. So, it's nice to have kids. They are a privilege and a blessing, and it was nice. Now, made my day. Got loads of wee gifts and stuff. You know, got everything that a father usually needs: boxers, aftershave, and all that. So it's all good. So I hope this message has spoke to someone or encouraged someone. If you think it might help someone, share it on. But hit the like and subscribe button if you feel you want to watch anything more that I'm going to post in the future. So thank you, and happy Father's Day.